Not every game is worth your hard-earned money, so we need to find out where gaming excellence lies. What do we catch, and what do we release when we go hunting with the app trap? Hey everybody, Macktion here, and Legend of Ixtona is a strategy JRPG. Think Final Fantasy Tactics, because I sure did, and with some noteworthy differences. It's $3.99 at the moment, on sale from $8.99. As far as the name goes, in New Zealand I know that IX makes an ish sound. I've heard of IX making eeks in the US, or it makes a long E, origin from Mayan. I'm gonna go with Ixtona because I like that one best, and I know that there are at least a few people from that direction who are listening. Now, to start with, in Legend of Ixtona, you create your character with a reasonable amount of options. However, you'll have to wait through about 30 minutes or more before you can play him, because instead of starting out with the character you created, you start out with a young Prince Kyle at the end of a great war. Much like the treacherous Tyrannosaur, however, his brother's sudden yet inevitable betrayal kicks in, and now we have conflict and we have a quest. Now, battle is much like you would expect, and sadly there are a few things from Tactics that they did not emulate. But I suppose you can't have it all. Many of the menus are not quite as intuitive as I would like, but it wasn't too long before I had a good grasp on them, so nothing major. In the early levels, you don't need to play it too safe, because you can pretty much just walk all over the enemies. Now there is one thing that's different, that I do like, and that is that you will counter by default. If someone gets close enough and hits you, you'll smack them back. As with any RPG, there are two aspects to leveling. One, your actual level and stats, as accrued with experience points that you gain from battle actions, and your CP, which gives skills and abilities as you fill that bar. Your choice of 3 passive abilities are set in the menus, but the rest of the abilities are accessible at any time, so you can kind of swap them out at the beginning of each battle. Skills, on the other hand, are only usable when you're in that corresponding class, and are used actively in battle in place of an attack action. Much like in Tactics, you can and should grab some hirelings to go on jobs, or as they call it here, dispatches. They go out, they return with goods and experience that they have gained. Now, one thing I do like here is that they do incorporate some of the things that phones do well, and that is, keep track of time. Notably, when you send your hirelings out on a dispatch, they come back in half of an hour, with goods and with new inventory items. Now, you can also just get in one battle, that's right, one battle, and they will have returned from a dispatch at the end of that battle. So, there is also that option. One way in which Legend of Ixtona breaks new ground, though, is in the development of technology. It's an interesting concept, and you can, with the proper prerequisites, craft weapons, armor, and accessories with minimal effort. If you toss some gold into leveling your races, that is. Now, it's a strange system to be sure, but not unwelcome. I always like getting a bargain. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed, the game has in-app purchases. The developer tried to make it clear that nothing is behind a paywall and everything is unlocked. You can just make some things go faster, or unlock some of the optional side quest areas. Every fight that I was in gave me 3 LIP, also known as Legend of Ixtona points, that I could trade in for things like gold, side quest areas, and some of the rarer drops. And if you want to pony up some real money, you can use that to unlock these things, whether it's gold, whether it's side quest areas, without having to gather the LIP from battles. Where this game is at its lowest, however, is in the storyline. Nothing about the storyline really hooked me. Now, even my favorite RPGs do take a little while to get rolling, but a few hours in and I'm still not too compelled. Maybe in a few more hours I'll change my tune. All of this taken together makes for a very fun game, and I think it's a solid offering for a strategy RPG. It doesn't have quite the intrigue of Tactics, but with a good difficulty curve and some great design choices. This game is a welcome addition to my tablet, and I'll definitely be hanging on to it. thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed, and if you have, a comment or a like would be most appreciated. It's your feedback that lets me know how to best allocate my time to the things that you guys want to see. If you click on any of the links around here, you'll be taken to a playlist with more of that particular brand of madness. And be sure to subscribe so that you always know when I've got some new content out. Thanks again, and I'll see you around.